This is LBC from Global, leading Britain's conversation with John Stapleton.
And after 5, we're going to be talking about what, on the face of it, seems like a bizarre, to put it mildly, decision by the Supreme Court here in London that has revealed a loophole in the law that could prevent asylum seekers being deported, even when they've lied about their background. 2 guys who lied about their backgrounds have been fighting a legal battle for the best part of 4 years now. It's costing the British taxpayer the best part of £1 million. And even though they lied about their backgrounds, the Supreme Court has decided the way the law stands at the moment, they can't actually be deported. I wonder how you feel about that. On the other hand, you may take the view, unusually perhaps for some, but you may take the view that, all right, they lied. No one approves of people lying, particularly in court. But can you really blame people coming from countries like Albania to try and start a new life here in the UK? Because of the case, which is that we might agree on. Dolores, thank you. Is it Fadi or Fadi in Isleworth?
It's Fadi. Thank you.
Hello,
Thanks
Fadi.
for having me on.
Pleasure.
Good
What are you
evening.
going to say?
Yeah, I'm a lawyer that practices in this area of law, and I've dealt with similar cases to this. Yes. Now, just a couple of issues in relation to what actually happened, and I promise that I can explain the Supreme Court judgment, perhaps in 30 seconds or so.
Good, go ahead.
When their lies came out, and of course we can't condone what they did. What they did was wrong, completely wrong. But when their lies came out, the Home Office had 2 options before them, 2 decisions to make. The first is a nullity decision, which is why the reference in what you've read out to nullification or nullified. So
explain nullity for me.
Oh, well, I'll explain it. It will be there. It will be there as it comes along. The second decision is known as a deprivation decision under the British Nationality Act. That's specific legislation. So it had the option of making one of these decisions, nullity decision or deprivation decision. What the Home Office chose was a nullity decision. Now, the difference between the two is the deprivation decision would have given these 2 gentlemen a right of appeal to a tribunal. The nullity decision is, that's it, it's null and void, you don't have any appeal rights. The lawyers on behalf of these 2 gentlemen argued that the correct decision to make is a deprivation decision, not a nullity one. What the Supreme Court actually held, and it reviewed the entire case law on nullity and the notion of nullity, was that nullity does not apply because they did not impersonate another real human being.
Oh, I see.
So
in trying to short-circuit the system, they screwed it up.
Yeah, so actually, instead of having a loophole in the law, instead of needing to change the law, it was Home Office lawyers or the government lawyers that actually selected the wrong decision, which the other side, the lawyers on the other side representing these gentlemen, for 4 years argued to have the deprivation decision. Now, even today, as we speak, it is open for the Home Office to make that deprivation decision. Had that deprivation decision been made 4 years ago, yes, they would have had a right of appeal, but they may have not won their appeal, they may have lost, and it would have been all over. So the expenditure, the 4 years, and all of that was due to the Home Office being stubborn that it was a nullity decision that was appropriate rather than a deprivation decision. And the most stunning thing about all of this is that although the Supreme Court formally entered into a judgment and gave a judgment, it wasn't even contested. The Home Office gave up at the day of the hearing and actually accepted that nullity was not appropriate, that the correct decision to make was a deprivation decision.
Well, Fadi, I have to tell you...
that is the sad thing in all of this.
Fadi,
it's not even about the Human Rights Act, it's not about changing the law, it's just about government lawyers selecting the correct law. Yeah, a massive cock-up.
Well, Fadi, I have to tell you, that's the most illuminating call I've had on LBC for a very long time, actually. That is absolutely fascinating. So the fault lies with the Home Office, who took the wrong decision or took the wrong kind of procedure to try and get the result everyone would have generally agree would be the right one. Fascinating.
Yes, and it wasn't obvious that it was deprivation, not nullity, but you'd think that across the 4 years... Yeah,
someone would have sussed it.
Somebody would have sussed it out and said, well, hang on, let's just do the deprivation decision, give them the appeal. If they win, they win. If they lose, then we can get them out that way. If they lose that.
I think they should have employed you, Fadi.
Thank you.
All right, fella, thanks very much, Dee, for your call. OK, we'll take more calls in just a tick.